What's going on, everybody? James here from Artificial Entertainment, and welcome to another quick Unreal Engine tutorial. And today, we're just going to be taking a quick look at some retargeting differences in 5.1, and we're going to be kind of jumping off of the multi-weapon system series because that's going to be the animations I'm going to be using to show you, but you by no means need to follow that series to understand what I'm going to be showing you. So ultimately, there's a few things I want to show you and add on to for my previous video when it comes to retargeting. Now, for the most part, everything that I had stated in that video remains the same. So we're going to, when you're retargeting, you always want to make sure we're going to right click, go to animation under IK rig, and then click on IK rig. When you open it up, you're going to get a list of skeletal meshes. Select a skeletal mesh, create a rig. You're going to need to make one for each set of each skeleton assigned to the animations you're trying to retarget, as well as the character you're retargeting them to. So in here we have this example, which is a rifle rig for animations for my rifle animations. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go through the process of showing you guys some of the differences, and then we'll open up an IK retargeter so I can show you some things in there as well. So we're going to go ahead and right click the root and new retarget chain from selected bones. Once we do the click OK, a new thing is going to pop up that wasn't in 5.0, which is adding a goal to the new chain. Now this is really only important if you're doing IK. So for me, I'm just going to go no goal. Now for the pelvis, we're going to right click and set retarget root. For the spine, we're going to click on spine 1, shift click on spine 3. So this way we can get spine 1 through spine 3 and new retarget chain from selected bones. So as you can tell, this is pretty standard to the normal process. We'll do the same thing on the clavicle, shift click down to the hand, right click, and new retarget chain from selected bones. Now the main thing that I wanted to really show in this video is something that I found recently. Well, not recently, but between the last video and now. Is that we can actually click on the index, the top index. So this is just for the finger bones, but we can click on this and then shift click on the last finger bone. So we got the entire right hand. We can right click on that entire chain and click new retarget chain from selected bones. Now from here, all we need to do is just click OK, no goal. And then it'll go to the next one, same thing. And it'll do this for all 5. So this way we can set all finger bones by just doing one single selection rather than having to individually select each of the finger bones. Now it does take a moment sometimes to be able to actually apply all the settings, but as you can see, now we have all of them applied with their proper start and end bones with no IK goal because we didn't assign one. So now we can do the same thing on this side where we take the clavicle to the hand, right click, new retarget chain, click OK with no goal. And then we'll just go to the hand here, then click on the index 1, shift click all the way down to thumb 3, right click, and new retarget chain. And then again, we're just going to do this 5 times to be able to get all of the fingers being added to a retarget chain. And then if we just give it a moment, it'll go ahead and add those chains to our list. Sometimes it takes longer than it should. Okay, there we go. All right, now from here, we're just going to do the neck and the head. New retarget chain from selected bones, no goal. Thigh down to ball, and then control clicking on the calf twist to deselect it, and then new retarget chain from selected bones, no goal, and then again on the thigh R, do the same thing with shift clicking down from thigh R to ball R, and then control clicking calf twist, and new retarget chain from selected bones. Alright, so now we have defined all of our IK retargeting and used a nice little trick to be able to reduce the amount of time it takes because those finger bones reduce the need to set or select 10 different times because they're 5 for each hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and save everything here, and I'm going to go back to my retargeting folder here, right click, new folder, IK retargeters. Now I like to make a new folder for these because it just makes things a little cleaner. But now that we've defined that IK rig, you would just need to do the same thing on the player character or the character that you're retargeting to. So I'm not going to do that just so that way you guys don't have to watch me retarget 2 things. And then we're just going to go to animation and go to IK rig and IK retargeter. And now we'll get the retargeters, or the IK rigs, that we have made. And for the one that I showed you was rifle. So we'll click on this one and we'll go rifle player IK retargeter. All right. So now we can go ahead and double click, open this up, scroll back a little bit, and under the target here, under the target IK rig asset, we'll select from none to player. Now, a couple of things that have changed. The first thing is that we have more options over here to be able to help select a proper default pose. Because as we can see, the legs are a little bit off, the arms are off, there's a few things that are off. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the chain mappings here, click on the root, and make sure that the root under translation mode is globally scaled. This way we can keep all of our root motion. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the side here, making sure that target is the thing that's highlighted, and then we're going to click on edit mode. And this will actually allow us to be able to adjust our mesh. So what we can do is we can, for example, go to, we'll look for thigh. We'll go to thigh R. So basically, like, this leg has a little bit more forward bend to it. So we're going to take it and bring it back. Now, I do suggest turning off the rotation snapping. Makes things a little easier. And then we'll just kind of keep rotating it in until the thigh gets into a better position. Something like that. All right. Move it forward just a little bit. So now what we can do is we can take the calf. Go to calf R. And then we'll just fix this calf rotation. So that way it lines up better with the way that the mannequin is. Now there is a bit of a height offset difference. So something to keep in mind. That you will need to kind of change some things around and keep kind of going on different legs and different bones and just match it up until it looks as proper as you can get it, you know. And now if we look at this leg, it's pretty much inside of the mannequin leg. But if we look at this leg, it's offset. So, you know, this is kind of what you would want to do with the new retargeting system, is that you can actually define the default placement. Because if I go and undo edit mode, I can go to my asset browser now and I can look at, you know, certain animations using those new adjustments. So like if I go back to edit mode here, and if I go to clavicle, for example, just to show you guys like a real adjustment here. So if I just take it and put it like right in front of him, turn off edit mode, you can see his arm is like bent into his chest. Actually looks kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. But you get the idea. You can essentially change into anything that you want. All you have to do is set it up so that way the overall position is going to be lining up to the character or the mesh that is underneath it. So this way you can do like a live lineup of the original pose. Now, speaking of poses, you also have the ability to select a default pose, which I think is awesome. So we're going to reset all the bones here just to get them back to their original pose section. And there we go. And you can see that now again, you know, the positions aren't perfect. I do need to make adjustments, but, you know, they're a good starting point. And there's always adjustments that are going to need to be made for animations because realistically, when you make something that's skinned to the Unreal Engine mesh, something to keep in mind for character creators. When you skin something to the mesh, or the Unreal Engine mannequin, because of the way that bones rotate, you don't notice when certain skinning is going to change because of the way that rotation is. And I guess this is really more for animators, actually, than character creators. But when you're making animations, if the rotation that you're creating from this default doesn't look bad on the mannequin, but just bear in mind that it might be outside of what a normal person's rotation is, which a lot of character creators design the weight of the character's movement off of. So something just to keep in mind. But that's really it for this video, guys. I just wanted to go over some quick tricks and things that I found for retargeting, as well as some different things that you can do with the Unreal Engine 5.1 new pose system that is in the retargeter. So keep an eye out for the next video where we're going to be going back into the multi-weapon system and adding in those animations. But that's all for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, stay animated.